Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Geek Yogurt Podcast. I am Knock.
Rara.
And Wade.
And it's another one of those mashup shows.
Yeah, we've been on hiatus for, a couple of weeks now, getting our it together.
What
so we're going to try to...
that?
It's his stutter.
It's an intro, man. It's an intro after a long break, that's all.
Max Headroom.
Work's been fucking us over, that's why we haven't been doing this shit. So we're back. There you go.
We're going to try limiting these episodes to 20 minutes or so.
At least this one. Just for the time being, so that we have a way to, what we want to do is just reconnect with our listening audience again.
Yes, how are you doing?
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Feel free to post in the comments below.
All two of you.
Oh, that's not a nice thing to say, Wave.
I think we're up to 3.5 now.
See that?
I want to know why a half.
Perfect.
Are you the half?
So do you want to go first, Wave? What's going good? What are you jazzed about?
Supergirl's going great. I haven't watched the newest episode, but I've seen the first 4 episodes? 3?
Yeah.
3, yeah, because I think this last Monday was episode 4. But,
yeah,
sounds
right.
Supergirl's been going way better than I thought it was going to be. Love it. Flash, one great episode right after another. And actually, related to Flash, I was at Pulp Nouveau Comics in Canandaigua, New York. Real nice guy runs it, and I now own the issue where Pied Piper comes out of the closet. And also some wonderful old Flash covers. Apparently including Barry killing the Tom.
Who did the covers on these?
I have no idea.
Huh.
Aaron Shibin?
Speaking of the Flash, there are crossover events coming up. A teaser just dropped for it.
December 2nd and 3rd is the crossover, and I think that's going to end... That's going to be the mid-season ending.
Yeah.
I believe. There might be a couple extra episodes on each. But we know, because we looked it up earlier today, that Legends of Tomorrow debuts January 23rd, 2016. So.
Well, in that crossover, according to the teaser anyway, you get Vandal Savage and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, that's where everybody comes around. And that's why I'm thinking that it's going to be the mid-season break right there.
Right.
Because the Legends of Tomorrow team is actually going to be coming together in those 2 crossovers.
Yep. Speaking of crossovers, the Constantine one went pretty well, I think, for Arrow.
Yes, it
pretty
went
well for Arrow. That was pretty good for Rambo. Are you kidding me?
What happened?
It was awesome.
Well, the only problems that I had with it were I wish there was a little more... I think you and I talked about it. I think
should have been more Constantine.
A little more Constantine.
But
only because...
I'm biased.
Well,
there should have been more Constantine for me because I love the character.
A little more Constantine because A, he's coming over from another network, and B, that was supposed to be his, introduction. And I understand it's Arrow's show.
Right.
But if that's what they're going to do with it, then it should have been a little more of him, I think, because I don't think we got enough to really know who he was if you're not familiar with the character.
But I think that was kind of part of it. This isn't supposed. They're not intending, or at least they weren't intending for him to become a regular thing in the show.
Right.
So he is just there. If you don't know Constantine, he's some guy who deals in magic that Ali met.
Right.
And since that went well, if I remember correctly, it's one of, if not the highest rated Arrow shows.
Right.
Yeah, viewership skyrocketed on that episode.
And
that's the reason why.
It reignited the Hellblazers.
That's the reason why I feel that way.
But they didn't know that was going to happen. They weren't planning for it. Now that is going to happen. More likely when he shows up again, I'm sure we'll be dealing with a lot more of him in the episode and a lot more, and maybe some more of his backstory.
I don't know. I'm a little more cynical than that. I guess Wave on it.
It's because you want to hate this.
No, I think I knew
it's different, so you hate it.
I think they knew exactly what they wanted to do, but they just didn't do it. I think they want to have a Constantine spin-off, but they just fell short. Because you don't spend the money that you spend to make these television shows for just the little tidbits. I think they knew exactly what kind of response they were going to get, but they just didn't write enough for the episode. That's what I'm saying. So, whereas your point of view, as I understand it, you think they were just sort of testing the waters and they got some great response and now they can certainly go forward. I think the way Stephen Amell kind of rallied for this, and the fact they went ahead and did it, they knew exactly what was going to happen. They just didn't write enough in, just in case it was bad. They can just say, "Oh, it's not ever going to happen." So, which I think is a bad thing.
I mean, honestly, if they had done too much and the viewership had been shit or the reviews on it had been shit, then that could have been even worse. I mean, that's the thing. If
you go all out,
because then you have people like us sitting here going, "Wow, Constantine's awesome. I want more of Constantine." Well, we didn't really, and that was great that they had an entire episode that was just Constantine and Ollie doing shit.
Right.
It's honestly, especially for Magic is new ground for DC live action, and especially for modern DC live action.
Right.
This is very much testing the waters of his show failed on NBC. I agree that is 99.9 repeating percent NBC's fault that it got canceled. But as far as bringing in, especially for Arrow, we've seen some tidbits of Magic with Damien Dark.
Right.
But all we've really seen is a little telekinesis. We haven't really seen him do anything magic.
Right.
And even the Lazarus Pit, you can really write off as some sort of weird science shit.
But didn't he also touch some guy and then infect him and sort of kill him with just touching him?
That's right.
So,
but even still, it's so far it's been contained to one character. It's still a relatively small portion of the show.
Right.
And when you're doing something that's relatively esoteric, like we're bringing somebody's soul back into their body.
Right.
I mean, John was there to take care of the issue, and then that's it. Like that, I don't think they really wanted right from the get-go to have this. Well, now it's going to be John's going to stick around to help him, because at that point it's no longer Arrow. At that point, it is John Constantine fighting Damien Dark for a season.
Right.
And him telling Ollie, go do this with your bow.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like you kind of said, he just sort of came in to sort of take care of a problem.
Yeah.
It's like he says these things like, if this goes wrong, we're all gonna die. But it's all taken care of in like 10 minutes worth of screen time. So I get no sense of danger from that, or even like it's sort of like ominous.
Yeah, but
uncharted waters.
You have a very high threshold for what you consider a sense of danger or important, or any sort of gravitas. I will say from talking with you have a very high very high bar for that, because you've also said Guardians of the Galaxy. You felt no danger in Guardians of the Galaxy, and whereas I felt like, holy crap, there is a lot of stuff, and those are two very different levels of. Because you know what? Here's the thing. I could say, if this goes wrong, we're all gonna die. The gun didn't blow up in the 3 seconds I was firing it. We didn't die.
Right.
See, I don't equate time necessarily to that, because that's the thing. We could all die. That could happen in 3 seconds. That could happen in 10 minutes. That could happen in 8 days.
Right.
They're doing something that is taking a relatively small amount of time, but he's stating the stakes before they go in of, this won't take long, but if we fuck it up, we're done. We'll be too dead to care. Right. Which was a great line. I do love the "we'll be too dead," and if we don't, we'll be too dead to care.
Right.
Although best line is still the he's a very special kind of yummy.
Right.
The look on Stephen Amell's face as he turns around like, oh.
Well, that I still thought it was a good episode.
Right.
So
some of the best flashback stuff we've seen. Like, I really loved the flashback stuff with him and Constantine. Especially because it was about half and half of, what the fuck are you doing?
Now we need to figure out what that tattoo's for.
I know, right? And, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah.
I'm going to go stir my Mac, so I'll be right back.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I finished reading Justice League Dark.
Uh-huh.
It started slow.
Uh-huh.
Halfway through Volume 2, Jeff Lemire took over writing.
Uh-huh.
And it picked up wonderfully. And then when he seemed to have stopped halfway through a book and halfway through a story arc. So when the next writer picked it up, it didn't seemed to mesh well between the two.
Yeah.
And then the last book, Volume 6, was pretty good, which was the same guy that took over from Lemire. So I was happy about that. And as you pointed out yesterday, there are prospects for John Constantine in Justice League Dark movie from Del Toro?
Del Toro producing. Yeah.
Del Toro producing. And
Yeah.
those two people are Colin Farrell and Ewan McGregor.
Right. That's the rumor. Yeah.
That's the rumor. And the other rumor is Jason Blood might show up. So.
Well, yeah. The other rumor is that whoever ends up being Constantine, the default of those two frontrunners will end up being the Jason Blood character for Justice League Dark, the movie.
I also saw, I didn't read the article, but I also saw that Colin Farrell might be showing up in a Swamp Thing movie. And again, that could go either way. He could play Jason Blood or Constantine, because both of those characters showed up in Saga of the Swamp Thing.
But you know what? That would lead me to be that it's he's Constantine, and I'll tell you why. Because you don't, in your monster movie, you don't want another monster. That's a good guy.
Don't remember the entire storyline, but Jason Blood went to Louisiana for some specific reason. I think it was to collect a book, an occult book that was going up for auction.
Yeah.
And he just winds up running into Swamp Thing while in Louisiana.
Yeah, but the moment that he turns into Etrigan, you got two monsters. So unless they do the monster fight and then realize they're friends, then then they go chase the real bad guy thing. You don't want two monsters in it. That would lead me to believe that Farrell's going to be playing Constantine and not Jason Blood.
Yeah, and that, again, this is just another rumor, so
yeah,
it could change.
And it probably will.
And I hope so. I could see Ewan McGregor playing Constantine. I'd rather have Matt Ryan playing it, but...
Right. They've also been very clear that the television universe and the cinema universe are two separate entities.
Yep, because their heads are up their asses.
So there's that as well. So...
but being that Matt Ryan's Constantine is no longer on television, he could go into the role.
He could, but again, that's the deal there.
So there's more Constantine news for all the Hellblazers out there.
So anything else going on?
I don't think so.
I'm
rereading Daredevil Man Without Fear by Frank Miller. Just because I'm running out of money and I needed something to read.
There you go.
Spend
every last dime you got.
I have a giant stack of Valiant trades I can drop on you.
I have 127 books to read myself, thanks.
There you go.
You just said!
Reread, I'm sorry. And I have 2 Scooby-Doo Meet Batman books that I haven't read yet.
This is probably no one wants to.
Only you, Wave.
Oh, hey, look.
Yo.
It's the severed hand of the trickster.
Oh,
because
wonderful.
people are douches.
Which trickster is that?
James Jesse.
Okay.
Yep, he got handcuffed to Pied Piper.
That's the second one.
The first one.
James Jesse. Yes, okay.
Yep, James Jesse was the original. And in the comics, Axel Walker is not James's son. So that was put in the show for one specific reason. They wanted Mark Hamill to deliver the Vader line. And I can't fault them for that, because that was awesome. And you know what? For the TV verse, that's kind of cool.
I thought in the comics he was his son.
Not that I've read so far. Okay. I may have missed something, and I will wiki you that later. And
there you go. Balls.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys know next time if I remember. Just like how I've been forgetting about a correction from 20 podcasts ago or something. I accidentally mispronounced the name of my artist friend, Rachel. I said Persephone because that's kind of... I was reading it phonetically. Is Persephone, Rachel Persephone.
Rachel Persephone, okay.
So, again, sorry about that. Literally,
sorry,
that was
Rachel,
from...
one of our 3.5 listeners.
That was from early October. I think I mispronounced her name.
Yeah, when One In, One Out got announced.
Yeah, well, no, I was talking about the commission
okay.
That is right now on the books. Eventually, is going to be done. I have to get her the money.
So what's new with you, Ra?
Oh,
How's
no.
Batman going?
That's the thing. It's like we've got some cool Batman stuff coming here in the next couple weeks. Next week is Dark Knight 3, Master Race.
Yep.
So there's that. I'm sort of tepid on that a little bit. I mean, I like that something's coming. I like the people drawing it because I don't like Frank Miller's art. But I thought DK2 now ended it pretty well. So I'm kind of wondering where 3 is going to pick up and go from.
And there's going to be a 4.
Yeah, and that there's potentially a 4 on the horizon.
It's been announced he's going to do a 4th one because he wants to write it solo. Mm-hmm. And I guess he has a co-writer on Master Race. So.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Well, anyway, and also December, I think it was 8th or 9th, Batman Turtles. So
yeah,
that.
I think it was 9th.
Batman Turtles?
Yep.
Yep, Batman Turtles crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking about that, Marvel should have teamed up with IDW to do a Turtles crossover with Daredevil.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Especially because Turtles at one point even was a Marvel series, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was.
I know at the very least their cartoon was Marvel animated productions.
I used to have some of the later Turtle books,
Yeah.
the late 80s, early 90s books, and they were put out by Marvel.
So, yeah.
There's lots of guest cover art that we've posted to the Facebook page.
Yeah,
I did.
so much.
They look so good.
That, and I pretty much share all of Jim Lee's pictures that he does.
Because Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Because Jim Lee.
It's just like Weekend Marion. You're going to start seeing a lot of stuff from him on her page.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once I finally remember that I have a Facebook.
And that you're an administrator.
That too. But I love Weekend stuff. Such a great artist.
Yeah.
And from my hometown.
There you go.
Yay.
Yay, Aspen Comics! There's a shout out to an independent we haven't done ever. No, seriously, Aspen has some pretty cool shit.
Okay.
Why does that sound familiar? What have they done?
Wow, on the spot and blanking.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ass.
You must need protein.
Yeah, well, I am also half asleep.
Oh, well, that'll do it too.
The other half is asleep too.
Oh, and the other thing too
Yep.
is Gotham. Gotham has been back for several episodes now, and if you've been listening to Signals from the Batcave, we've been doing some little short casts on that, and I think this second season is really, really fleshing out the direction they want to go. Now, because of the way that Fox releases those online, I'll always be speaking about
One episode behind. And I was going to watch this week's episode today, but I said, you know what?
Soulfire, that's
if I wait until next week, I can talk to Ra about it and have it fresh in my mind and not trying to pull shit from my memory bank.
Right.
By the way, Journey, Soulfire, they have a Tales from Oz book, Shrugged, Maidens of Excess, Minefield, Lola XOXO, Legend of the Shadow Clan. Mm-hmm. They have some really cool shit.
Okay, nothing's popping out.
Yeah.
I know, I've heard
I figured
that.
Soulfire might pop out for you. That's one
Do you have a
that...
picture?
No. Unless these are clickable. They are not.
Let's see. So other stuff.
Fathom. Okay.
Oh, Fathom. Yes.
I know Fathom.
Yeah. So the way the season's turning out, I mean, it's gonna get really crowded, really fast. Especially when the Order of Dumas shows up, and that's Azrael's group. And the rumor is that Court of Owls is present this season. So as soon as they show up, probably after the break, it's gonna be really crowded because the Riddler's coming into his own.
Yeah.
Galvin and his crew, although it's publicly known now, is still very dangerous.
But he's still mayor.
Yeah, but he's also on the radar, so he's
Right.
he's still around. And then the usual one-off episodes of just your freaks and whatnot that inhabit Gotham. It's going to get crowded pretty soon, I think.
And they have not gone back to Indian Hill yet.
Right.
And done a story about that. And
Right. Spoilers.
That was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I think Hugo Strange is going to be coming up here
Yep.
in the next couple of episodes.
The actor who plays Dr. Wu on Jurassic Park. can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's supposed to be playing Hugo Strange, which again is...
He also played he also played a psychiatrist on Law and Order SVU.
Yep. Let's see. I'll look it up here real quick because
John Woo?
I think that's also really cool. I mean, they have the character of Hugo Strange. You know what they do? They make him an Asian guy.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Gotham.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange. Professor Strange.
Professor Hugo Strange.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still Gotham.
So, that I think is...
If they go the way that I want them to go with Barbara King.
If you want her to be the Joker still?
I want her to be the Joker.
They certainly left the door open. Again, and we talked about that on Signals from the Batcave. That
Right.
It would have been nice if she just died. I think she would have gone out on a high note.
Yeah.
But they always got to keep that little tidbit in there for like what I would consider an easy
I think
out.
they would have went out on a high
BD
note.
Wong.
BD Wong. I think they would have went out on a high note if she at least broke up Gordon and Lee, or physically hurt Lee, or killed Lee.
You
Do
don't
something
like Lee,
to
do you?
hurt Gordon.
Well, they don't. We still don't know that didn't happen. They got to have their talk.
That's true.
So we'll see what happens. But I'm really jazzed that that's doing well, and it's really progressed a lot since season 1. And I don't know,
Define a lot.
like an almost
Going
180
from 0
return.
to 50? It's a lot.
I mean, I'm
I
with
know.
you guys. The first 6 episodes were crap, but after that, it's come a long way.
See, I don't know. I'm still. I will admit it has gotten better since season 1, but I don't know if it's necessarily enough. Like I'm 1 episode behind. No, 2 episodes. 2 episodes behind, and honestly, I'm not feeling it the same way. Like I'm not feeling that. Oh God, I'm 2 episodes behind. Same way I feel it with something like Sleepy Hollow or Supergirl, or it's not like. Shit, I hope I can, when I get home, I hope I have enough time between jobs where I can watch an episode.
Right.
Like, they might be able to have a passable mob thing, but half the mob stuff in the season has still been kind of bad.
Well, that's because the mob's gone, and it's basically just been replaced by Penguin's chaotic crew.
Yeah, and
So-
the Penguin stuff could have been great in the season. It's been alright,
Yeah.
but it could have been great. And I really just don't like or care about Galavan in the slightest.
There's
But-
really good moments in that, Penguin has that episode where he finds out his mother gets taken out, gets taken from him, and he has his little, tantrum. That's a really good moment. And then there's a point where Enigma finally comes to the realization of who he is.
The Enigma shit is completely unwatchable in the season to me.
It's
I can't
brilliant
bear it.
stuff. I mean, it's not only shot brilliantly, it's written brilliantly, and the way that he finally comes together really ties together everything that I think from season 1, where they really messed it up, but his coming of age and I think Mommy's Little Monster is just some of the most brilliant-
Penguin, not Enigma. You're saying.
Enigma.
No, Enigma?
Yeah, in Mommy's Little Monster, when he finally when his two sides merge,
Oh, yeah.
it's not only brilliantly shot, it's actually written really well, but I think of a lot of respect to people who have those types of issues. So I think they've really matured. That's one of my favorite episodes.
I'll give the editing for when they merged. That was pretty good, but honestly, and Riddler is one of my favorite Batman villains. Hell, I think he is my favorite Batman villain.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, he's this season almost literally everything he's shown up with, every scene he's shown up in, I can't even stand to watch.
Right.
It's, and not in the oh God, it's so tense. I can't watch in the
Well, once again, he's not Riddler, I think, up until that moment, and I think that's where it really feels like he becomes the Riddler.
You see, but that's the thing. To me, it hasn't, and even then, it's just it doesn't matter what character he is. The way that stuff was written to me is just unbearable to watch.
Right.
Honestly, the main reason I suffered through the whole he strangles what's her face from records and all that was because I was waiting to watch more of the stuff with Michael Chiklis.
Right.
I like Michael Chiklis in the show. He's pretty awesome.
Right.
He's pretty cool, but it's pretty much every time Nigma's come on camera, that's been my cue to go up, refill my glass of water, take the dog out,
Well, I think from season 1, they've had troubles with story, certainly defining the characters. But since then, I think they've improved their writing a lot. But one thing I do think that's happened since the first episode dropped is that they cast everything really well, and that the people who have given whatever lines they had, given whatever lines they were given, have acted the shit out of whatever they had. And I think that was a really good moment for his character, because that's some of the best stuff I've seen on that show from him in a long time.
Oh, and I will agree with you on, I don't want anyone to mistake this. I am not knocking any of the actors or actresses on the show. I actually have a lot of, they are all doing as good a job as they can, in my opinion, with the script. To me, I equate to like Ryan Reynolds in Green Lantern. He was not he's not a horrible actor. He didn't do a horrible job. He did what he could. And that's the thing. I actually do have respect for all the actors and actresses on the show.
Yeah.
Because I've yet to see bad acting.
Right.
I've seen a lot of stuff I don't like, but the acting is not one of them.